Hey, good morning. I'm Hugh Owens coming to you today from the Chickamauga battlefield on September 20th, 2007. Today is the 144th anniversary of the Chickamauga battle, day 2. And I'm coming to you from the North Dyer Field, just on the lower slopes of Snodgrass Hill. You can see over my right shoulder the South Carolina monument here at Chickamauga. And I picked this place because I'm here today to talk to you about the 24th Infantry Regiment Volunteers from South Carolina 24th, and they were with the Gist Brigade, Walker Division, that fought here at Chickamauga. They were led by General States Rights Gist, and no kidding, that was his name, States Rights Gist. They had a bloody 30-40 minutes here in Chickamauga. It would have been about 3 hours from right now if we'd have been here in 1863. So what I had in mind was to give you a little video tour of what the 24th went through, or the ground they covered in any case on that day. And I specifically want to talk about Company B. Company B was formed from boys from Marlborough County, South Carolina, where my family comes from. And one of my 6 great-great-grandfathers, Jackson Stubbs, and who was about 19 at the time, and his future father-in-law, therefore my great-great-grandfather, Martin Hubbard, he's one of 16 great-great-grandfathers I have, both fought here on that day with the 24th South Carolina Company B. They only had about 30 minutes in action, and in that 30 minutes of action they lost 1/3 of their guys. So you can imagine, if you can lose 1/3 of an entire regiment in 30 minutes, you're in some stuff. So what I'm going to do is take you over parts of the battlefield where they fought that day, and just kind of give you a little video recap of where the 24th would have been on September 20th, 1863. Okay, behind me, right behind me here is the Alexander Bridge, and on sometime during the early morning hours, between midnight and points beyond, the 24th with Gist Brigade would have arrived from Catoosa Station, and they would have been mixed up with a lot of the arriving troops of Longstreet's brigade coming in from Northern Virginia to bolster the Army of Tennessee in this fight. And so this is the entry point, I'd say, for the battlefield. We're right next to the boundary of the battle line, so I guess we could call this the beginning of the battlefield. This would have been a rear echelon area, and one can imagine that it must have been choked with a lot of ammunition trains and wounded, all the other troops, all the other brigades, and of course coming in to make their way to their assigned positions on the battlefield. These guys probably came in here. This is now completely forested area, but at the time it was farmed by a guy named Alexander, and it was all open fields, this entire area. I would hope the guys were able to fall out for a little while, maybe get a little sleep, get a little rest, and take some breakfast before they were called up to the front. But this was the entry point sometime during the night of the 20th of September, 1863. The 24th South Carolina would come over a same bridge, but a bridge that was here at the time, at this same point, Alexander's Bridge, Chickamauga, Georgia. Okay, well, I'm now at the foot of the slope of the trail leading up to the point at which the 24th South Carolina went into battle. To the best of my researching ability, I believe this road was here at the time of the battle, and I'm maybe 1,000 yards down slope. This road starts up a not terribly steep, but fairly long slope, and the guys probably would have staged and gotten into formation right about here, I would imagine, to make their final move up the hill to make the assault on the Union breastworks. Kind of need to give you a little background. The Union fought. Well, the first day's battle was all in this part of the park, and it went sort of back and forth, back and forth. It's not particularly good ground to fight on. Very vine, very weedy, very flat most of the way. Gradual sloping, but not especially advantageous ground to fight on. So sometime during the evening of the 19th, or the late day of the 19th, Thomas did a reconnoitering up here and decided to pull his entire army back about maybe a half mile, 3/4 of a mile up to the top of this ridge here behind me, where they spent the entire evening building log breastworks. So by the time our guys went in battle, now the 24th went in about 11:30 noon, but the battle started about 9:30. By the time that started, the Yankees were very, very, very well protected behind their log breastworks at the top of the hill, and it was a nearly impregnable position. Unfortunately, for our side, we had some pretty poor leadership going on, and instead of any kind of coordinated attacks, everything was done piecemeal, maybe a brigade at a time. Nothing was really coordinated, nothing was really thought out very well, and so they sent these guys, brigade at a time to flail away with these this big log wall of Yankees up here, and you can imagine the results. It was terribly, terribly bloody. The ground on which the 24th fought had been charged maybe about an hour and a half earlier by the Helms Brigade. This was led by, I can't think of his first name, but General Helm. He was the brother-in-law of Abraham Lincoln, and unfortunately he was killed during that charge. And our guys would have gone in, like I said, an hour and a half later. They would have walked over the dead and plenty of the, I'm sure, the wounded of the Helms Brigade that had just charged the same point previously. This area would, if I'm sure the trees would not have been, I mean, things would have been pretty blasted away down here by this time in the morning. Fairly hazardous place to have been in 1863 right here at this time in the morning, but much more hazardous at the top of the hill. So this is the staging area. This is the ground on which our guys went up that morning, and I'll do you maybe a little walk into the hill with the camera here and show you a little bit better view of it. All right, this would have been, let me catch my breath here for a second, this would have been about the center point of the regiment. The guys extended into the woods on either side. This glade actually did exist in 1863, and the Yankees, I'd say that's about 50 yards away. I'll zoom into the point at which they were barricaded, right about there. So as our guys topped this hill here, they came out into this glade and were immediately under assault from the Yankees at their front. Now, since this was not a coordinated attack, not only were they taking fire from their immediate front, but taking enfilading fire from the left as well, from this area here. These troops in this direction, as I understand it, engaged and were able to put a very devastating enfilading, or I guess you could say lateral fire, for those of you who don't know what enfilading fire is, on our boys. And it took its toll. 30 minutes. 30 minutes they managed to come, stop right about here, and then retreat.